TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom, Erev Tov. Good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. I'm Erin Viner, filling in for Jonathan Hessen. In our top stories, tens of thousands of IDF reservists are heading toward the Gaza Strip ahead of the looming high-intensity offensive against Hamas in Gaza City. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu proclaims that with God's help, Israel will emerge victorious in the battle against the Hamas terror group. Belgium announces that it will join a group of nations in recognizing Palestinian statehood. The Israeli Defense Forces are operating across the entire Middle East, presenting none other than a decisive victory. In remarks to IDF reservists prior to the ground offensive into Gaza City for battle against the Islamist Hamas terror organization, IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir declared that the Israeli troops are entering unprecedented areas and operating with courage, strength, valor, and an extraordinary spirit.
Our enemies, on October 7th and since then, across the Middle East united in their attempt to harm us and to destroy us. We are operating against all of them, constantly, with determination, without pause. We are striking them, dismantling them, defeating them, and we are prevailing over them. We are operating across the entire Middle East. Hamas will have no place to hide from us. Wherever we locate them, whether they are senior or junior figures, we strike them all the time. We are preparing for the continuation of the war. We are going to increase and enhance the strikes of our operation, and that is why we called you. We have already begun the ground operation in Gaza, make no mistake. We are already entering places we have never entered before and operating there with courage, strength, valor, and an extraordinary spirit. I want to tell you that nowhere does the IDF offer anything less than decisive victory. We will not stop the war until we defeat this enemy. So rise and succeed with great appreciation from me, from the entire IDF, and from all Israeli civilians for what you have done, for the exceptional turnout here, and for what you will yet do. Thank you, and great success to everyone.
In a televised address from Jerusalem to the IDF maneuvering forces just ahead of their entry into the lawless enclave, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asserted that the people of Israel will never forget the brutal atrocities committed by Hamas on October 7, 2023, including beheadings, sexual assault, murder of infants, and the abduction of 251 people who were forced into underground captivity in Gaza. The Israeli leader reaffirmed the nation's pledge to return both the remaining living hostages and the bodies of the deceased back home as part of the mission to destroy the Islamist Hamas terrorist organization.
I stand by you and express my deep appreciation for you, IDF soldiers and reserve soldiers, and your families. I know that you have paid a heavy price, at work, with studies, and at home. We are fighting a stubborn and just war without peer. We do not forget for a moment what they did to us on October 7th, the beheadings, the women who were raped, the babies who were burned, and the hostages who were taken into the tunnels in Gaza. We are working to bring them all back. We are acting to defeat Hamas, but together we have, so far, done wonders in breaking the Iranian axis, both in Gaza and with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and with the Assad regime that collapsed, and with Iran itself that threatened us with existential threats, which we removed together, and now we are facing the Houthis. But what began in Gaza must end in Gaza.
Prime Minister Netanyahu continued by proclaiming that the imminent battle will be conclusive and triumphant with God's help.
Dear IDF soldiers, conscripts, and reservists, throughout the war we have made very tough decisions, which nobody believed that we were really capable of implementing. But we implemented them because you gave us and me the power to advance the state of Israel toward a sweeping victory. Now we are facing the decisive stage. I believe in you. I rely on you, and the entire people of Israel embraces you. With God's help, together we will win.
A group of family members of the Israeli hostages are expressing concern over the possible loss of their loved ones during the fierce forthcoming military offensive and are appealing to U.S. President Donald Trump in desperation, urging him to impose a ceasefire deal on both the Islamist Hamas and Israeli leadership.
President Trump, you wrote The Art of the Deal. Tremendous book. Today, we're asking you to make the ultimate deal. The deal on the table is your deal. Only you can close it. Your deal will save lives and bring all of the hostages home. Only you can make Hamas say yes. You proved it. And only you can make Netanyahu say yes. And finally, end this tragedy.
We, the families, we agree with you, Mr. President. We plea, you demand both Israel and Hamas to close the deal that is on the table, bring the hostages home, and end this dark chapter so that healing and rehabilitation can begin for both sides of the conflict. The bottleneck for your new Middle East vision and a Nobel Peace Prize is the release of the hostages and a Gaza war ceasefire. And there should be consequences for those responsible from walking away from the deal that is on the table today.
It is important to note that President Trump is echoing the assessment of his top security advisors by contending that the only way to secure the release of the hostages from Hamas captivity is through a military operation that will ultimately completely obliterate the Palestinian terrorist organization. In other news, Belgium has announced its intention to join France, Britain, Canada, and Australia in recognizing a Palestinian state on the sidelines of the annual opening of the United Nations General Assembly later this month. In a statement on X, Belgian Deputy Prime Minister Maxime Prévost wrote, quote, "Palestine will be recognized by Belgium during the UN session, and firm sanctions are being imposed on the Israeli government."
It's a good thing, even if I think it's a bit late given the events. It's been going on for 2 years. Also, with the conditions that are attached, for example, I saw that Hamas would have to be disarmed and all that. So in a way, it's something that could be complicated to implement and therefore will actually delay the recognition of the Palestinian state. It would have been better with direct recognition without conditions. For me, there you go.
Meanwhile, irrespective of reality on the ground, in which the deeply corrupt Palestinian Authority barely manages to maintain control over territories in Judea, Samaria, and the Jordan Valley, Ramallah officials are spearheading a campaign to gain recognition of statehood and rally international pressure to force the Israeli people out of their ancestral homeland.
I think the UK and the rest of the international community realize now we cannot continue managing the suffering. We have got to end the suffering. And we have got to end this idea of bandages, bandages, bandages. We have to treat the root cause of all this. So this is what we are discussing with the UK. And this is what we are hoping will happen. And comes the General Assembly, I think it will be the starting gun for what we hope to be a sprint, not even a march, towards implementing the two-state solution. And we are hoping for an active, effective, meaningful role by the United Kingdom.
The Palestinian representative to the United Kingdom continued by blatantly engaging in historical revisionism to claim that Israel is in fact a colonial entity in complete disregard of the Bible, as well as archaeological evidence to the contrary.
It's never too late should we garner sufficient international will and momentum and energy to actually backroll occupation, dismantle all these illegal colonial settlements, and establish an independent and sovereign state of Palestine. Israel, under pressure, has dismantled many previous examples of colonial expansion. It has dismantled all of its illegal settlements in Gaza Strip. Now they want to rebuild these settlements. It has dismantled its illegal settlements in Lebanon once they withdraw. So once we create sufficient pressure, meaningful pressure, I assure you it is absolutely possible.
Turning to Iran, where Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai reiterated the Ayatollah regime's call on the E3 nations of Britain, France, and Germany to alter course after they triggered the so-called snapback mechanism, which is expected to reinvigorate a list of UN Security Council resolutions that include heavy sanctions on Tehran's nuclear program in particular, as well as against its energy infrastructure at large.
The European countries must act honestly and responsibly, considering the history of negotiations, considering what they have themselves agreed, as part of their commitments under Resolution 2231, to review their positions and strive to adopt an independent approach, free from influence from two other destructive actors, the Zionist regime and the United States.
While blaming Israel and the United States for all of its own intransigence, the Islamic Republic was compelled to acknowledge that no breakthroughs had been achieved during the fruitless talks with the European powers, clearly indicating yet again that Iran is not willing to compromise with the West over its nuclear development. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Please keep praying for the hostages and for the peace of Jerusalem. We hope you'll join us for our next update. I'm Erin Viner wishing you shalom from Jerusalem.